let me first speak on Tiki Barber and his comments talking about how I think he felt like he was speaking for the Giants organization, the Giants fan base, and saying that Saquon Barkley is dead to us, i.e., the Giants fan base. I think that this is a perfect example of what exactly is wrong with how people view sports. Again, I understand a fan. I understand that fan is short for fanatic, and 9 times out of 10, a fan who is a fan of a team is always going to pick the team over a player. I understand that. I get that wholeheartedly. But I think that there has to be a level of understanding and honesty about situations at hand. I understand that it probably hurts Eagles fans, or not Eagles fans, I'm sorry, Giants fans, that Saquon Barkley chose a divisional rival in the Eagles. And he makes the Eagles considerably better than the Giants right now. But in my opinion, and I'm a Washington fan, so this affects me as well. But in my opinion, the frustration, the vitriol, the hate, the anger that is going towards Saquon Barkley needs to go towards the Giants brass, the Giants GM, the people that's signing the contract. There's been several instances where Saquon Barkley has said that he wants to be a Giant for life. And I see a lot of people calling him a liar, not understanding that for Saquon Barkley to be a Giant for life, that decision is honestly out of his hands. You can go back to when they gave Daniel Jones the contract, and we're saying, yo, why would you pay Daniel Jones that much money and he's not even the best player on the team? Or why would you prioritize? I understand the instance and the thought of prioritizing the quarterback, but why would you prioritize the quarterback when your best player, who is a running back, and you need him, has already voiced his frustration, already voiced his need and want to get a new contract? Once they paid Daniel Jones, I knew that that whole Saquon Barkley is going to be a Giant for everything was out the window. Once Saquon Barkley threatened to hold out, and I think essentially did hold out for like a couple days of training camp, I knew it was over. People, this whole Saquon Barkley situation is a prime example of how people do not hold organizations to the same standard that they hold players. And I've said this time and time again. While you play for these teams, these players are their own entities. These players are the only ones that are going to have their best interest, because a team, yes, they pay you, but a team is always going to do what's best for the team. So a player should always do what's best for the player. Which is why I never get upset and I never bat an eye when I see players don't take a discount, or when I see players that are hurt go to outside opinions. Because the inside opinion is always going to do what's best for the team. So, Tiki Barber, or anyone that shares the same viewpoints as Tiki Barber does with this situation, why is all that hate and frustration not towards the organization that reports came out saying they did not even give him a contract to negotiate during this period? Or this organization that prioritized a much inferior quarterback over their best player. I think Saquon Barkley is going to do wonders for the Eagles. I still don't really trust Nick Sirianni. I still that defense, especially the secondary, is not looking too hot, to say the least. So I don't know if I will say this. I do think that Saquon Barkley is much better than DeAndre Swift, and shouts out to him. I think he went to the Texans. But if you want to be upset with somebody, be upset with the person that's cashing the checks. Because obviously they were unwilling to give Saquon Barkley not only what he felt he deserved, but give Saquon Barkley a contract. Because again, reports are coming out that they did not even offer Saquon Barkley a contract. And again, as unfortunate as it is, he goes to a divisional rival. A divisional rival which unfortunately values him more than the team that he was currently on. You know how crazy that is? That a divisional rival values a player more than the team that has them? And you're getting upset with the player. In fact, and I know Tiki's obviously not listening, but do you remember the end of Tiki Barber's career? How that went? Now, yes, he obviously played his entire career with the Giants and retired a Giant, but does anybody, especially Giants fans, remember how the end of Tiki Barber happened? All I'm saying is, I can't point my finger and call somebody fat. If I was Tiki Barber, I wouldn't be the most vocal when we talk about players wanting what's best for them. I think Saquon Barkley did what was best for him, and I will always champion a player choosing themselves over a team because a team will do that tenfold to them. Now, if you want to break down the actual move, I think it was a good move for the Eagles. I just don't. I think that there's a lot of other things that they needed. I look at this moves too. I look at it from the Saquon Barkley side, and I look at it from the Eagles side. If I look at it from the Eagles side, I think it's a good move. I just think it was an unnecessary move, seeing as though there's a lot more issues that need to be addressed. Like, a lot more issues. And especially, like last year, their biggest hurdle was, or their biggest issue was the defense. And seeing as though Fletcher Cox retires, and of course, this is off the backs of Jason Kelsey retiring. There's a lot more holes that need to be filled other than the running back. And I don't think that Swift was a bad running back. I just think the defense was bad. And something happened with Jalen Hurts last year, and he kind of plummeted as well. So I don't know. I mean, if you're making a all Madden team, yeah, having Jalen Hurts, AJ Brown, Saquon Barkley, that sounds good. Devontae Smith, Dallas Goedert, that's a great team. But what about that secondary? And has Nick Sirianni proven that he can be the primary play caller or the primary voice of a great team? Well, I know he's a head coach. Once that the Shane Steichen was out of there, it was curtains for that team. So, and then Saquon Barkley, I understand why you would go to that team. I mean, you go from Daniel Jones to Jalen Hurts. You go from an organization that hasn't been really relevant since Eli Manning to a team that is 2 years removed from being in a Super Bowl. So I get it. And on top of everything, you go to a team that has showed that they value you. At least value you more than the team that you are currently on.
Oh man, you stayed to the end of the video. I appreciate you. If you like what you saw, be sure to hit that subscribe button so you'll never miss any content from your boy. You can also go back and watch past episodes, past clips, and don't forget that the Unpopular Podcast new episodes drop every Wednesday and Saturday. Appreciate you.